Welcome to my messy life. Take my hand and dive right on in with me. It's gonna be alright. Messy imperfect life with Leigh.
Hello, you guys. I'm so happy that you're here with me today. Today is a solo show. I'm actually, we're wrapping up season 1 of Messy Imperfect Life podcast. This is episode number 48. Whoop, whoop. I'm so happy that we got this many in. So anyway, we're going to take a little break here in 2020 and start back up in the fall. And I started with with a show. My very first episode was me by myself going, what the hell is my podcast? And here 48 episodes later, I know what it is, thank God. And it's been amazing. It's been amazing to have people from all walks of life come on and talk about something messy, what they learned from it, and how they're using it as a source for good now. And what has been so great about it is, I think for me, talking about mess and realizing no matter how polished and beautiful the person that walks in and sits next to me, no matter how successful they are, they all have mess. They all have pain. They all have things that they have worked through. Making sure my bra's not showing because the strap keeps breaking. But it's showing. Sorry, Ben. I wanted it to show for you to give you a little last episode thrill. But anyway, the great equalizer, what I love is that no matter where I go, no matter who shows up in front of me, no matter if they're loaded and beautiful and I feel like, oh my gosh, I'm in my Jessica Simpson shoes and she's in her Gucci everything kind of feeling, is that the great equalizer is that we are all human, that we are all going through mess, that we all have something that's heavy that we're struggling with. So every time I feel intimidated, I just take a pause and look around into people's eyeballs and go, they're exactly like me. They're just people who want to be seen and heard, people who are struggling, and people who are thriving, but still life gives us, the beautiful bumps that teach us along the way. So it's been amazing to be a part of this podcast and to learn so much from the people who came on or who have come on. I alluded to and maybe talked a little bit about in past podcast about divorce and that David and I are going through a divorce. And it's been pretty bad for about 4 years where I feel in my perspective that I was doing everything I could to help Dave or to keep the family together or make everything okay. Or if Dave wanted to do this, I was all in to try anything because I had this thought that this was my life. I had to keep this together. This is what the foundation of my life's built on. Like almost like I was getting rope burns as he fell down away from me, trying so hard to hang on. And I actually pulled my rotator cuff or tore it in 2 places. And when the doctor, the orthopedic was like, how'd you do that? It's like, I have no earthly idea. But I think that our body talks to us and it reflects back what's going inside. So if we're having kind of a wild ass ride out there or things are tumultuous, our bodies are kind of in dis-ease as well. So divorce is incredible. It's, like I said, something I never thought I would experience. And I tried so hard to fight it not happening. And I think it's already taught me so much. It's taught me so much. I remember when David moved out in February, and I'm talking a lot about it now because I'd been holding it. I didn't share anything about what was going on with Dave. I kept it private. I honored him because he's, a public figure. And I never really talked about it with anyone. I was just suffering almost silently, but it got so bad. Yeah. Anyway, so I said to him not too long ago, because we are in the divorce proceedings now, getting kind of wrapping up all the money stuff and custody and all that, which is an interesting path as well. But what was I saying, Ben? I just forgot.
You were just talking about how you were holding it in for so long.
Yeah. So I said to Dave recently, I said, Dave, when are you making an announcement? So I thought he would have his PR people when we were ready and announce it so everyone knew. But he said, I'm not announcing it. I was like, oh, because I've been holding it, kind of protecting everything and protecting your publicity and all that kind of stuff, because I thought you were going to make an announcement. So I've been feeling like I've been kind of living in silence in it. And I'm done with that. So that feels super good to be able to talk about it. And I really feel like God, every time I have a judgment on anything, no matter how small it is or minute or left over from my childhood, even it's a thought, God allows me to experience it so fully that that judgment goes away. So every time I have to warn myself, don't hold any judgments or God's going to bring you through something to shatter that. And it happened first with my daughter, Eve, when the doctor said that she has 8 markers for a neurological disorder. She has a hole in her heart. Everything's wrong with her. You won't be able to communicate with her. She's going to have open heart surgery. You're going to have to move her little legs 6 days a week. It's going to take all of your money and your family's going to fall apart. And you won't be able to take care of your own kids, all this stuff. And it was the first time that David and I had a discussion about abortion. Now, I would vote for abortion because I don't believe that what my beliefs are should be put on anyone else. So I would support other people doing that. But back in my mind from my childhood with my Catholic father, abortion was murder. So that was still tucked in some tiny little file drawer in my brain. Although that I was, as a woman, open to other people living their lives. And then God blesses me with a baby who has everything wrong with it. And with her, I remember that David and I sat down to have a discussion about abortion. And the doctors repeatedly said, this is the most compassionate thing that you could do. And I remember going to my minister, and I remember going to my nanny at the time who was married to Jesus, saying to them, they're talking about abortion. And they said, well, my nanny was like, let her go to Jesus now. Why would you make her suffer? So all of these thoughts were coming in, and my husband actually and I had a discussion about the possibility of abortion. And all of a sudden, I saw it in a new light as a wonderful option available for something that could possibly be, I don't want to say horrific, but, just really horrible to another human being to watch them suffer, and you can't even comfort them. So anyway, we ended up not aborting Eve, and she's 8 years old, but God gave me that opportunity to realize that there are times where maybe that is because people are choosing it, the right option. So it really opened my eyes to any time I hold judgment on anything, God's going to put me through it to see the other side. And I really love it because I know anytime I hold judgment, or that you do on anyone, it hurts our bodies, physically hurts our bodies, and it hurts our spirit. And it's a reflection of our closed minds, right? And that's kind of a suck place to live when we judge other people for anything, because we're not walking in their shoes. So I had this little tiny judgment on divorce. I supported people who got it, but I always had in the back of my mind, they just didn't work hard enough. They just didn't give it their all. I just watched a movie called Marriage Story, and I watched it, and people were like, you have to watch it, you have to watch it. So I was like, had a tissue box, I was ready to cry. But really what I got was, you need to get help in a divorce. Don't try and do it on your own or with mediation when you don't know what the hell you're doing. Get help, get someone who's trained and who can help you. And I also, when I watched that movie, I was like, wow, they kind of liked each other. They just stopped communicating, which I think is the number one reason for divorce. They say it's like money and kids, but I think that the communication is the number one thing. And anyway, I watched that movie, and I wasn't disturbed that much because it didn't feel like my thing. Because I was like, just go talk to him. Just go tell him how you feel. And then he can communicate. And maybe you can guys try and be in a new way with each other. I was thinking that, but my situation was a lot different. And I feel like I always said about divorce that I thought it was okay if a partner sat down. If you're walking forward in life and one sits down, then you're no longer partnered, right? You're not moving forward together. It's like the other person threw in the towel. And I kind of feel like that's what happened. I kept trying at all these different ways to make it work or to connect, and it wasn't working. And it's so funny because when you try really hard to fix things, and when you try really hard to make it right, and when you try really hard to hold on to a thought of what you think you're out of line with what's supposed to be happening, because life is not supposed to be hard. It just taught me so much. And when I remember Dave and I had just decided to do a podcast together, and we built this little podcast set and hired our producer, and David moved out of the house, and I realized it wasn't happening. And I was looking down at the ground, just bawling. And then I caught my breath, and I literally was like looking at what I thought my life was built on, and it was gone. And my hands started moving up my body, and I was like, oh, I'm still standing. And I was like, oh, God, what do you have planned for me that I could not or would not have done if I was with David? And I have to tell you, I had a hell of a ride with him. I love him with all my heart. I'm going to forever. And I know that this time is tumultuous, but I just am so grateful for who I am from his love and for the family we created together. So what I know is that you can go through divorce and feel the pain, but you don't have to suffer. And I'm getting faster to remembering the things that I like, even if he's not happy with me right now or he's angry with me. So divorce is teaching me so freaking much, but I'll have to say it's one of the most painful things I've ever gone through. And it makes me want to cry talking about it. Do I have Kleenex, Ben? I don't know. Even toilet paper would do. Oh, it's right here. It's right behind the camera right there. So divorce is a trip because if you're in love with your partner, like he was my beloved, and to realize it's going away and it's not going to be what I thought it was forever, it's shocking and it's heartbreaking. And then you panic and you try and save it, in my instance. And then as it keeps spiraling down, I was trying so hard, I didn't even realize it was spiraling down. It was just like gray matter. And I was just keeping my head above water and taking care of the kids and doing all the school stuff and doing everything and trying to help him. And I have to say that the hardest part for me over the last year, because he moved out in February, is experiencing every holiday without him. Experiencing every holiday, because for 21 years, it's been the same thing with me and the kids. And then all of a sudden he's gone. I'm like, what did we do today? What are we supposed to do? And I'm trying to fight all these sad feelings and provide for my kids and make it a good new experience. And it's just so interesting because people are human beings and some people are more evolved than other people. And, you know, I had people involved in my life who didn't know what to do. So they just did nothing and stepped back when I felt like that's when I really needed everyone the most. So it was a really isolating, and I have this whole story from my childhood that was coming back up of I'm all alone and I'm not good enough and all this kind of stuff. So all of that was just flowing up out of me. Like your husband doesn't even love you. You're unlovable. Your friends are all leaving. And it's this weird thing that happens. So this year, I'm going to say 2018 was the worst year of my life, just watching the actual crumbling of our marriage and my beloved. And this year's been sad, navigating everything for the first time, kids' birthday parties, my birthday. 4th of July was a really big one. On 4th of July, everyone goes to this beach house. And I knew it was coming up and I was like, oh my gosh, it's time for the beach house, trying to keep semblance with my kids, to keep things like kind of how we used to do it. And I called someone and said, are you having the party at the beach house? They said, no, we can't have a party. And then I swear I woke up on 4th of July and looked on Instagram and everyone was there at the beach at that house except me. And there are good reasons for it. I guess people didn't ask. Everyone just showed up and everyone just did it. And no one sent out an invite or anything like that. But I was so fragile and so under, I wasn't reaching out to people because I was struggling so much. So things like that were just devastating. And people slide away or they pick sides. I remember one girl, two women in particular talking, and I kind of overheard them talking about supporting Dave and being on Dave's side and this kind of stuff. And I reached out to one and I said, I'm on Dave's side. I love David more than anybody probably ever will, and unless it's his new girlfriend or wife. Like he's been such a huge part of my life, and I'm going to love him forever. I'm on David's side. There doesn't have to be a division, although that we're fighting or things are heavy or we're divorcing, is I know there's still this deep love under it. Although I don't think really can see it right now, but I want to co-parent. I want to have him and his wife and me and my husband, or him and his girlfriend and me and my boyfriend one day together to celebrate the holidays. I don't want to have to be that you take him here and you take him there in the separation. I want my kids to know that we love them and that we're working on it for them. Living separate lives and co-parenting. So it's been a bear. And it's also been amazing to look back at my stuff that I did in the relationship and how I showed up to cause disconnection, which led to other things. So I love that. I love that in life when something happens that's devastating, is that we don't have to, I felt the pain. I felt the pain for about a year, but I don't have to suffer anymore from it. I can learn from it, tweak the things. So if I have another relationship, and I do actually, I'm dating someone who's adorable and precious. And I hid that because we hadn't made an announcement, although we've kind of been unattached for 5 years. And I've been dating him for a few months, and I took him somewhere and everyone was looking like it was so weird. I was like, oh yeah, I haven't talked about it yet. Some people didn't even know we were divorcing because I kept it so private. So it's all exciting. And divorce is not exciting, but it is, because I'm learning that every single thing is impermanent. Our bodies are impermanent. Our homes are impermanent. Nothing lasts forever. And when I realized that change is a huge gift, change brings us to the next part of our lives. Change is the thing, and sometimes we have to get rattled. We have to get shook up to realize that there's more for us here to do. And if we're stagnant or actually losing ourselves and going down to try to help someone else so much, we're off kilter while we're on the planet. So this has been pretty amazing for me to realize how low did it have to go for me to finally get the message. It's time to move on. It's time to do what I think I'm really here to do, which is sharing my light and sharing my message and doing it in a big, powerful way. Although I had a blast being Dave Keckner's wife and going to the big events and parties and flying first class and all that kind of stuff that I'm going to make my own money to do in the future. But I'm in gratitude for our relationship, even as we're still going through the divorce. And I'm so excited about what's coming. I'm so excited about the new fellow that I'm dating and just the possibilities that we're in this new year. It's 2020 and all things are possible. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about that. And I'm going to be doing some work with divorce. And I'm in production for a television show about divorce, which I think is going to be beautiful because I want to make it a celebration and not a funeral. When you hear divorce, there's no shame or judgment. It's like, I'm divorced. I'm free. I'm available for the next step in the next chapter. And that's how I feel today about it. But it could change tomorrow if I have a bad day. Don't get me wrong. So thank you for your support and understanding with that. And it feels good just to talk about it, but I don't have to be secretive or hold anybody's stuff anymore, that I can own my feelings and my thoughts on it. Okay, this is something that happened. I went to Dallas for a meeting, and I think Dallas is 2-hour time difference than LA. And I wasn't really paying attention while I kept glancing at the clock. And I was in bed after we had some big 3-day intensive workshop in this mastermind I'm doing. And the next morning I had till 3:00 to get to the airport. So I just laid in bed, I had breakfast in bed. I was doing work on my computer from bed. Then I called the front desk. I said, hey, my flight's at this time. What time do you think I need to leave for the airport? He said 1:45. And I said, well, what time is it now? He said 1:48. And I was like, oh no. So I didn't even realize the time change and everything. So I flew out of bed. I started shoving anything I could get my hands on my suitcase as fast as I could, changing. I didn't have makeup on or brush my hair. I mean, literally put a ponytail on and just sprinting around my room. And then I call Uber, and then I haul ass to the front desk, and I go, oh my gosh, I forgot, blah, blah. And the guy behind the desk said, I got you. And I go, oh my gosh, thank you so much. And then I dove into the Uber guy. You know, when you get into an Uber driver and you have frantic energy, they are turned off and a little bit upset already and kind of hating you. So I get in, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to hurry. I'm late for the airport, which isn't this guy's fault. But he just turned around, and he was probably like 28, and he was black, and he was just cool. He just turned around. He goes, I got you. I was like, thank you. And guess what? He had me. He got me straight to the airport. Thank God there was not a lot of traffic. I get out. He pulls out my bag. I thank him so much. My bag has a wobbly wheel, so even trying to get it to the curb check is a pain in the ass. Something's wrong. It keeps getting stuck, and then I like fall. So I was trying to maneuver it and get my bag and get my other bag, my computer bag. And I didn't even say anything, but the guy came from behind the counter, came over to me. This has never happened in LAX or anywhere else. When I'm struggling with my bags, no one gives a shit. So I'm doing that. The guy comes from behind the street tag thing and comes up to me, and he goes, can I take that for you? And I was like, thank you so much. And he goes, I got you. I'm not kidding. That person all said that. So I actually ended up going inside to the thing because I had to go and check in or something with my bag, put it up. The woman's like, you're 2 pounds over. What do you want to do? And I go, well, what do I have to do? Like, what do I have to do? Because I'm tardy. She said, not only are you tardy, she said, not only is it over, but you're 2 minutes late for your check-in. You have to be here an hour before for your bags. And I go, what can I do? I mean, I was going to start crying because I got there and then she's going to kick me out for 2 minutes before. And she goes, you're good. I got you. And threw it over. And I was like, seriously looking at people like they were saying some magical word or some magical phrase. I got you. That they said that. They all looked in my eyes and said, I got you. And this was every ethnicity and every age group and both sexes. Everyone kept saying it. And it continued when I went up for the security line and I'm trying to find my stuff. She's like, I got you. No rush. I mean, I heard that over and over. And by the time I got on the plane and I passed the flight attendant when I was going back to my seat, and I was like, vodka soda on 10B. And I said, before the flight, she goes, ma'am, that's not first class. I said, just pretend and bring it to me, please. And she goes, I got you. Now, she did not bring it before the flight, but she did bring it after we could unbuckle our seatbelts. So it was so fun to receive that word and to receive how good it feels to be got, how good it feels to be had. I got you. I got you. I got you. And it was funny too, because of the whole divorce thing, I feel like kind of fragile and I feel, I think just fragile and vulnerable. And everything kind of feels like a big deal when I get flustered and because there's so much on my plate. And so to have just strangers repeatedly saying, I got you, I got you, I got you, was amazing. So think about that. I actually made, I make these little necklaces and I made this one and it says, I got you. And I don't think there's a lovelier phrase that I've ever heard in my life. So think about that. I know a lot of kids say it now, like the youngsters, I got you. It's so sweet. I went to have breakfast the other day with my kids and it was a really hip place and the waiters were all in their 20s and tattoos and cool hair. And I was like, where the hell's my coffee? And the guy's like, I got you. And I just smiled at him because I feel like it's almost angel kisses. It's almost like this gift to just everything's okay. Everything's okay. And I loved how I was receiving it, right? I really heard each person. I don't know. It was something magical about I got you. And I think that I'm going to start an I got you movement. I'm not sure with who, but somebody who can get the word out there with me to just say I got you to everyone all day long. If you open the door, I got you. Just letting each other know we have our backs. I have your back. I do have your back, by the way. If you need me, reach out to me. Damn it. No one should ever feel alone. Anyway, just hearing those words, I got you, I think are maybe the sexiest words I've ever heard on the planet. So I challenge you to share them with other people. I got you. It's kind of sexy too, I am. Another thing that happened pretty amazing for me recently was I went on a boat trip with my girlfriend to Renee, and we went around the islands of the Grenadines. And you just get on a boat, and strangers get on, and there's 4 couples. Renee, I'm always Renee's couple because she's not married, and I scuba dive, so she takes me. I think it's called Tradewinds, these boat company all over the world. So I got on the boat with her. No, actually, we landed in St. Vincent, and my bag was not there, my suitcase that had my new bikinis in it, my favorite sarongs, my wraps, my new flip-flops. I bought everything to go on this damn boat. I get there, my bag is not there. We go to leave, and we have to leave to go catch the boat. My bag was still in Miami. So they said they were going to send it to Barbados, which is where we were going to go at the end. But I was like, no, because then I'll just take it home. So they just sent it home. So I got on a little boat. We took a big ferry, got to this little thing where the little boat was. And there was one shop with islanders in it and a small island. And I walked in the shop without trying it on. I grabbed a bikini and I grabbed a pair of shorts and I grabbed a hat, like a Crocodile Dundee hat, and flip-flops. That's what I had. But I forgot this part. When I got off the flight, when I found out that I didn't have my bags, actually, because I tracked them, because I said, they didn't mention going all the way through. And they said, track your bag on the computer. So I tracked it and it was still in Miami. So I realized when I landed in this little island, it wasn't going to be there. And I started crying. And I was just my head down crying because I couldn't believe I wasn't going to have everything that I packed for it, including my medicine, because I get a sun rash really bad that morphs me into a man, kind of. I look like a swollen man. But anyway, I didn't have a damn thing. And I cried for a few minutes because I needed to. And then I stopped. And then before I got off the plane, I said to the flight attendant, I can't believe that I left my suitcase. And she's like, well, take this. And she gave me the gray blanket that they used in first class that I used. She goes, just take the blanket. I was like, all right. So that was my sarong. I tied that around my waist with my bathing suit. I tied it as a skirt with my cover up during the day. It was just that little gentle act of kindness that I was like, screw it. All I need are flip-flops and a bathing suit and a wrap from American Airlines. But once I got on the boat, I told the girl, she was like the deckhand, and she said, she said, where's your luggage? And I just said, I just have this bag. They didn't bring my luggage. She went down to her room and brought me like 5 shirts, 1 cute outfit to go out to dinner, 2 or 3 sarongs, or I call them sarongs, but they're little wraps. And she just dropped it on the table. And then another woman went down and brought me up like a swim shirt and just a bunch of stuff. So all of a sudden there was a whole pile of clothes that I had for a week. And I thought it was so interesting how much shit we bring to everything that we do. How much shit I put in my suitcase. I brought a giant suitcase and all I needed was 1 bathing suit. And it was so cool to realize you really don't need a lot of shit. And that I had the most amazing experience, maybe even better, washing my underwear in the sink and hanging it out to dry at night and then wearing it again the next day after I got out of the water. So it was just so beautiful to see people. They didn't say I got you, but I felt that from them. I felt that what they were bringing me was freaking amazing. So that's it. I just wanted to share about that because those 2 stories touched my heart so much. That the simple words, I got you, and then letting people know, kind of like with this divorce, I've held it for so long. As I speak about it, people are reaching out to me. People are going through it. People are asking if I can help them navigate it the same way that I am. And I'm realizing every single thing is purposeful. Every single thing happens for a reason. The right people always show up when you need them. And it's the same as like this guy that I'm dating. I was so used to not being seen or touched or kissed or heard or anything with Dave for so long and still trying so hard to be seen, whatever. But to meet someone who's super kind to my heart and who's super gentle and who's super spiritual and who will meditate with me and hike with me and tell me to take a pause a lot when I want to be reactive and send text messages. I'm so grateful that, not that I'm getting married or doing any big thing, but that I have this person that showed up who's so kind and he sees me and he hears me. And all of the things that I kind of dreamt could possibly be in a relationship one day, he's showing me that it's real, that it can be, that it is. I'm just excited about it. I'm excited that sometimes when people say I'm still married after 30 years, I say, do you like him? No, a lot of times they say, no, I love him, but I don't really like him. And I just feel this liberation from this thing that I thought I would never experience and this thing that I thought was shameful or people would judge me or I'd be a failure. I'm like, oh no. I finally got the signs. I'm no longer struggling. I'm in the flow of what's coming and embracing it. And I think that that's the freaking amazing thing. And I think that when we do that, we can receive all the wonderful things that are coming. So if you are in a marriage and you hate it and it sucks and you've lost yourself and he won't communicate with you, you don't have to stay. And by the way, people often say we stayed for the kids. And I'm like, no. Carl Jung wrote something, a quote that I love. It was, the greatest disservice to the life of a child is the unlived life of the parent. So if you are in a loveless marriage and you're keeping it together for the kids, they sense that and they feel that and they have that heaviness and you're modeling how to be married, what it looks like. So I would just challenge you, if you're in one, do the work on yourself. See if your partner will work with you. Start talking and communicating. And if he won't, or if you won't, you don't have to die in that gray matter. You don't have to. I kind of got pushed into this arena of divorce, but now I'm really seeing the beauty of it and the freedom of it. And just allowing everything that happens in life to be good. I mean, shit, it hurts, but to be good. What else do I want to share with you? Besides, I know that we are in this new year. And before January 1st, I kind of reflected on last year. And I reflected on what brought me joy, what took up a lot of my time, what I loved doing, what I was making money at, all that kind of stuff. And I decided I'm going to only move forward this year in things that are bringing in money, things that light me up. I'm going to focus harder on the things that bring me money so I can expand them. Well, I'm going to take out the word hard because I hate it. And I believe that as soon as you say hard, it's going to be hard, right? I don't ever want to work hard again. I want to do less and make more. And I want to do more of what I love. So that is what I'm focusing on this year. And it's happening. Great things are happening. I just signed on with an amazing company that puts together retreats. And they took me as a client. So they put together the whole damn retreat. And then I just come do what I do. It's like a dream come true for me. As a matter of fact, I'm doing one at Monarch Beach Resort in California, first weekend of March. So look out for the details for that. I'm super excited about it. And it's about knowing your worth. Because I believe you can watch every podcast or listen to every podcast, and you can go to every workshop. You can read every book. You can listen to every sermon. But unless you know and own your worth, unless you know how pure and powerful and amazing you are, you can't reach up and grab the low-hanging fruit. You can't be in the realm of abundance. Because down here is kind of self-sabotage and gossip and talking bad. Up here is abundance, love, and joy. So if you're not up here, you can't reach out to get it. And I think so often, myself included, we are not doing all that we are here to do. God put little freaking gems inside of each one of us, and we got to find that and share it, polish it, clean it off, use it, move forward in a powerful way with it. And I'm so excited to be addressing worth, because I think that so many people look outside of themselves for everything, and they go try to hear things all the time to get more knowledge, to be fixed. And then most of all the stuff goes up on their bookshelves, their binders, their notes, their books, goes up on bookshelves. And then they're sitting back at the desk in the same job they hate, taking Xanax to get through the day, or getting wasted, or overeating to fill the void. So it's know that you're worthy this year. I mean, 2020 kicks ass. It's a whole new decade. Know that you're worthy to have your heart's desire. And be open to letting go all the stale thoughts that spend 60,000 a day in your mind, and most of them are negative. Make more room for the positive. I like to say stand guard, and picture like a little guard at the front of your brain that will only allow in good. Same with your heart. So just look at these people around you. Look who's uplifting you, who's supporting you, who's encouraging you. Look who applauds when you do well. And then look at the people who don't, or who gossip, or who talk, whatever. Make choices. Make choices who you want to be with. Make choices who you want to spend your time with. Birds of a feather. I like that. Flock together. As I rise, not cooler people, actually people with more really clear gifts and are using them in a powerful way are walking into my playing field. So I'm not searching or seeking or hoping. It's just with grace and ease it happens. So know your worth. Allow yourself to stand up, to be seen, to be heard, to speak your mind, to let the wonderful things in your brain, your dreams. Somebody said it, maybe Henry Ford, if you can dream it, something, look it up. I don't remember. But it's something like, you can look it up, Ben. It's something like, if you dream it, you can do it. Was that it?
That's it, yeah.
Thank you, Ben. And he said it. Henry Ford, who created like the greatest car company after everyone told him no and laughed at him. He kept at it, persistence, persistence, persistence. And he got it. So he said, if you can dream it, you can do it. Things come into our minds because they're supposed to come into our world. But I think if you don't know your worth, you have a hard time getting them out of your minds and being vulnerable enough to present it to the world. I help people do that, by the way. I'm just feeling a little bit like if there are people listening who want to do that, and it is the new year, reach out to me. You can reach out to me at my email, which is lkeckner@gmail.com. And we'll have links on this podcast. And come to my retreat as well in March, because it's going to be all about connecting you to having awareness of your worth and freaking owning it so you can stand strong and bring in all of the abundance and love and in all areas of your life.
Henry Ford also said, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right.
I love that. Isn't that great? Mm-hmm. Ben, I really like how you're chiming in today on this last one. Yeah. You're feeling free to chime in. I love it. If you think you can or you think you can, you're right. And I think so often people are paralyzed with their thoughts that they're not good enough, they're not smart enough, they're not funny enough, they're not thin enough, they're not young enough. By the way, just making this announcement, I'm going to create an empire that's going to have shoes and it's going to have clothes and it's going to have things that bring you joy, and some perfume as well. Things that you want on your body that uplift you, that bring you joy. I'm going to create my empire, and I'm 53, but I'm just proclaiming it so we can look back at this and go, holy hell, look what's possible. And I realized also with my soon-to-be ex-husband, I didn't know anything about money, nothing. I didn't even know how much he made because he made the money. Why did I need to know about it? I was taken care of and having a good time and doing my stuff. But I just realized so many things. I'm learning so much about money now. And what I'm finding is I wouldn't have learned it without divorce. So I'm in gratitude for divorce for that, because it's another aspect for me to know my worth, to know that I'm worthy of abundance, that I'm worthy to be rewarded financially for what I do. So that's another huge thing. And learning about money. So all of a sudden, it just doesn't go from something where Dave says, quit spending, we spend too much money, we're out of money, which was kind of the theme. Although I want to say he provided wonderfully for us, but we both kind of had this mindset of lack. And we always had enough, right? But it was never like a surplus to go do vacations or to relax or to not worry. So this is teaching me so much about money, that it is just a material thing that I get to choose how I bring in and how I share and how I give back with. That it's not something that I long for. It's something that I can reach over and get by staying on track, giving my gift and doing things that generate money. So this is amazing for me too in 2020, because I'm going to make money and no longer hope for a guy or hope Dave has a good job or hope to marry someone wealthy so he can provide for me. I'm so excited that I'm focused on making my own money that I never have to care what the guy that I like or the guy I'm making out with or the guy that I'm dating, what he does, because I like spending time with him. And I've got me. I'm filling up my love tank. I'm making money. I'm doing all the things for myself so I don't need from anyone. I can just have a beautiful connection. So that's what I'm working on. And I just want you guys to think about, what the hell am I doing here? Why am I on this planet? Who am I? How can I use every single thing from my life, every single thing I've been through, to be of service now? And good news is you don't have to reinvent yourself at all. When I hear that word, I'm like, no, you just have to have awareness of what your gifts are. And you have to see what you've been through and see how you can use that to help other people. It's powerful and it's amazing. And storytelling is another thing that I teach as well, that is so powerful, especially now that everybody just wants to connect and everyone's faces are down. People just want to be seen and heard. And so for CEOs, I'm teaching that if they have their power story, if they share their story before they tell their employees what they want, before the employees feel connected and they hear and they see themselves in the CEO, and all of a sudden they feel more connected to what they're doing and they care more about the CEO. Therefore, they want to be a part of it. They want to be part of the family and to be part of the mission and to make it, instead of, why aren't we hitting our numbers? That kind of stuff actually decreases sales. So I love the power of story, and I love that we each have one. And no matter what you do, you have something to share, you have something to teach, you have something to say. And that builds trust, it shows credibility, and it connects you deeply with people, what people are hungry for. So there's so many wonderful things at our fingertips this year, our fingertips. There's so many wonderful things at our fingertips that we can use to bring in abundance and to bring in love and romance and things that we never even imagined. So let's let our minds go wild. Let's dream big, and then let's pull it out and let it live with us in the world. I didn't start this way, but I used to start all of my 33-day series with the 3 deep breaths. So I want to do that right now before I say goodbye until season 2. Just take a moment for yourself, unless you're driving. Don't close your eyeballs, but just close your eyes and put your feet on the ground, and you can put your hands down on your lap to get grounded, or you can put them up to receive. And then just breathe in through your nose. We'll hold for 2 and out through our mouth. So in through your nose, hold for 2 and out through your mouth. Ben, why aren't you doing it? In through your nose, hold for 2 and out through your mouth. One last one. In through your nose. Hold for 2 and out through your mouth. That's the easiest way to decrease anxiety and lower your heart rate, is a few slow, deep breaths. I love you, and I'm happy you were here, and you deserve everything that life has to offer. Allow yourself to get it. Anything else, Ben?
Not unless you want to talk about more projects that you're looking forward to in 2020, like go into deeper detail with anything.
Yeah, I think, I think, something that I've been told for the last 10 years, maybe 20, when I had my almost dying thing with my son, Charlie, when I gave birth to him, and then surrogacy and everything else, is everyone has said, write a book. And I always knew that I needed to, but I never felt like doing it. I don't know why, but now I feel like doing it. So that's also why I'm taking a little pause on this, is I really want to focus on sharing my story in book form. So I can have that with me as I travel and pass out to people and share my story deeper with you, which excites me. And I am working with the Retreats Unlimited. So I'll be doing a lot of retreats at cool places. Before I've done them at a hotel, which I realized I was doing retreats, but they were in a hotel. But now they're going to be at really cool resorts and stuff. And life-changing, I will say. Life-changing experiences. That's it. And I'm developing with a guy who's an amazing producer, and my dear friend, Mary Jo Eustace, who was on one of the podcasts. You can check it out. She's interesting. She's divorced, and she had one of the most high profile, right? Like in public, because her husband left her for Tori Spelling, and it was on the front of all of the things. So anyway, her and I are developing something. So it just feels really good to do less, but focus on things that will bring in money. So I'm really excited about it. I think that's it. And I'm working with a corporation too, to consult with them about self-healing for women and self-care. Because the CEO of the company is a woman, and she's kind of going through a hard time. And she realized how important it is to take care of herself, because things are falling apart because she's got too much on her plate. So I'm creating a program for a corporation as well, which I'm excited about, or already created it. I'm going to be implementing it, which is going to be super neat. And I'm looking over at my little thing. I have a mastermind group with women too, which is beautiful, where I help them take their dreams out of their heads and bring them into their reality. One's doing a one-woman show, another's writing a book, another is relaunching her career, and another one just wants to set boundaries and have more time for herself. So that's it. Sign up for my newsletter, and I'll have a link here that you can do that as well. And I'm going to get back on my blog and writing my book. That's it. And I'm excited about this year, and I'm happy that I got this time with you, and I look forward to seeing you with new episodes coming in the fall. Okay. I love you. Have a great day. Have a great year.